Hello, my name is LoG and welcome to my minor pentatonic flat 5 power-up. Let's get started with part 2. Okay, so let's do a real quick recap on what part 1 was. Remember, we were doing that 3-octave run, so that was this. And we were ending there. Now part 2 is going to begin where we left off. So we're starting here, right on that flat 5. And all we're doing is we're playing that note and then working up and then walking back down. So let's check it out. So flat 5, right? Up to the normal 5, back to flat 5, 4, flat 3, back to 1, flat 7, and then we start working down to scale. So let me just play that figure one more time. Right? So as that flows from part 1, it will flow very naturally. So right? So as we get to that flat 5, move up to the 5, walk back down. So now that we're walking down, it's slightly different on the way back. So it's not just literally the same exact thing in reverse. It's slightly different. So we've got from the flat 5, that's our starting note, up to the normal 5, flat 5, 4, flat 3, then the 1, flat 7, and now we're going to come down kind of a more traditional pentatonic scale right here. So 1, flat 7, 5, 4, no flat 5, skip the flat 5. 1, flat 7, 5, 4, then flat 3, 2, 1, okay? Then back to the flat 7, then the 1, and then we end on this flat 3 right there. So you can kind of think about it in this organization. So we've got this whole passage, right? That little thing on top from the flat 5. Then we've got these 4 notes. We've got 1, flat 7, 5, 4, okay? Then these 4 notes. Then these 4 notes. Okay, so it's kind of little groups of 4. So 1, flat 7, 5, 4 is the first group. Second group is flat 3, 2, 1, flat 7. Okay, so if you think about it like that, it's a little bit easier to internalize. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the whole thing from the flat 5. Bum, 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 bum. Those are our 2 groups of 4. Again, walking down, groups of 4. Bam. Again. Now, once we get to the flat 7, all we do from the flat 7 is real quick 1 and then flat 3. And that's where we're stopping. Like that. So let me play it a couple more times. Again. Now, the sound for this one's a little bit different because we are still targeting flat 5 on top. But as we move down, we're now getting into, like I mentioned earlier, a more typical minor sound, and that would be 1, flat 7, 5, 4. That's straight pentatonic. Flat 3 as well. But I am sneaking in a little bit of a 2 right there, which is a cool sound. Okay? Bam, there's the 2. Walk back to the 1, flat 7, 1, back to flat 3. Right, and you can kind of really dig into that flat 3. It sounds pretty cool. So technically, is in regards to what I'm doing, my fingering is pretty much what it looks like. I'm walking back that kind of chromatic feeling, all 4 finger kind of thing. So ring finger, pinky, ring finger, middle, pointer. Then from here, let's see what I'm doing. I actually don't even know. Okay, so I'm coming down for these first group of 4, the 1, flat 7, 5, 4. I'm just doing ring, pointer, ring, pointer. Of course, you have to move a little bit because of the position change and the tuning issue. Then from here, from the flat 3, I'm going pinky, ring, pointer, and then sliding back with my pointer to get to the flat 7. Ring finger, pointer finger for the last 2. So pretty simple. Reaching for the pinky. Again, when I'm coming down, I'm prepping that pinky to make sure that I'm there on time. Kind of see my pinky right there. Right when I'm playing the 5 and the 4, it's already getting prepped to play that flat 3. That's pretty much it. Right hand in regards to that, again, up to you. Technically, you can do mostly hammer-ons and pull-offs, or you can alternate pick or combination. Alternate picking is pretty straightforward. It's just alternate pick everything, you know, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This one's a little different because as we move through the strings this way, each string is an upstroke. So check it out. We start on a downstroke right here. Downstroke, next string, we're beginning with an upstroke, then down, then upstroke, then down, then upstroke. Right, so we're moving this way with upstrokes, which I actually happen to find relatively easy, but some people don't. So if that's something you want to work on, this is a perfect way to practice it. Okay. So something you can try. Of course, you can also do hammer-ons pull-offs, really simple. You know, if you want to pull off maybe from the 1 to the flat 7, pick, pull off. Same thing with the 5 to the 4, pick, pull off. Maybe do that. 1 pick, all of those pull-offs, and then slide. It's completely up to you. I think I like to pick the bottom personally, but again, it's completely up to you how you're doing this. You know, tailor this exercise to whatever technique that you're trying to play. Yeah, so just keep in mind whichever one is the most comfortable, whatever technique that you're trying to work on, and focus on it like that. So a couple more times. Again. One more time for good luck. Another thing I didn't mention in the previous part, I would actually recommend that you don't play this exercise with distortion. I have it relatively clean right now. I have like a tiny little bit of drive. If you want to put on a little bit of drive, that's fine. But definitely when you're trying to work on anything technically, you really should not use distortion, because distortion will make things easier for you. Of course, you still need to play with distortion because it does feel different and you need to feel comfortable with distortion. But if you're trying to work on pure technique, I definitely would try to play more on the clean side, because it kind of doesn't mask your mistakes as much. You'll hear the notes a lot more clear. So anyway, now let's get to these tracks. There's going to be 2 tracks. The first one is going to be just this part, and we're working from 60 to 140 again. And then the next track is going to be parts 1 and 2 together. So that will sound like this. Part 1 again. Into part 2. I'll do that one more time. That will be the second track, and that's going to move from 65 to 140. So we're just inching up just a little bit. So anyway, let's get to those tracks. All right, so that does it for part 2. Again, if you guys enjoy this type of instructional material, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below, and I'll see you guys in part 3.